Howdy, 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 everybody, and welcome to the NTT Indycar Open Series here on iRacing. This week, we're at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. I am Austin. I am joined by the one, the only Marco Barbanera in the booth. And once again, the field has split just at the last moment, I must say. We had 28 registered for this with 30 seconds to go. So almost a full split, but once again, it split again. So success on us, top split broadcast, but not going to be a full grid like we really wanted to. It's going to be a repeat of Atlanta, but it is the top split. Top IR of 6,203 is in here. And I believe our lowest is at 2,011.
Yes, absolutely. Hello everyone, hello Austin, and getting ready to go. Before we start, just a quick word of advice that Trading Paints is actually having server issues, so I think we will not be able to load the deliveries. But the cars are rolling, and Austin will guide you through the starting grid.
Yeah, starting on pole, it's Henry Bennett and AJ Burton. Your front row. In your second row, it's Laura Gerhardt and Marco Brazil. In the third row, it's Shane Burke and Dave Milarowitz. Following him is Paul Morgan and Sherwin van der Sloot. Followed up by Dylan Franklin and Frederick Campbell. Oisin Walsh and Adam Crane. And in the back row is Marshall Stanley. And
absolutely, yes, and his name will be on the screen right now. There is, and Hugo Olson. So sorry about that. Hopefully everything is sorted, and now we go racing. I'm so excited that we are back on the ovals. We have all the big names are here. Nice to have Marco Brazil and AJ Burton in the house, two of the household names of this championship. Let's go racing. It's going to be fantastic.
yeah, pace car has to do one lap, and it's going to come off, and it's going to be all in the hands of Henry Bennett as the lights are about to come on, and we're about to go racing here in Vegas. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to go racing! Great launch at the start, a little bit of hesitated, but it definitely bunched up the field, and we're already having moves down the pack. Everyone diving into that very bottom row, and actually the top four have already split off. Look at AJ Burton using that top line, trying to get a run on Henry Bennett right now, as it's 2x2. We're pack racing in IndyCars.
And we currently don't have the audio from the cars. That will be solved in just a second.
Well, that's getting installed. Welcome to Apex Racing
back.
TV Radio.
Okay, I almost tripped into all my cables, but yes, back to the racing then. Sorry about that.
Nice.
It's one of those nights.
But the battle for the front between Bennett, and Brazil, it's three ways right now. Bennett and Burton side by side, as our timing software is having its annual fits after one lap. We take a look from up top, and it's just beautiful seeing all these cars race in a pack.
It absolutely is, and as you can see, it's all one big pack. Brazil on the inside of Burton, and they almost touch each other. I think Burton barely scraping the wall, but he keeps his car in one piece. Laura Gerhardt in fourth, and David Mernarovic is in fifth place. Fastest lap of the race so far from Adam Crane in 11th position, so the pack still very competitive. Of course, the fact that it's split means that we have a very high strength of field. I would love to have a full grid one of these nights, but I'm not complaining. These are some of the best drivers in the service with this kind of car, and it's fantastic to have them on board, as another lap is in the books. 133 laps, so it's quite a bit of them, as Melnarovic is trying to attack Brazil, but also Bennett and Burton once again are side by side.
Yeah, race at the front, we saw Burton using that highline. I was in a few laps over here earlier, and I was actually in a race with Marshall Stanley, he said that highline is going to become very useful later on in the race. The first 10 laps, though, you can easily have that inside line, but Burton on that outside line, he's going to try to get it rubbered in faster and faster and pressuring Bennett on the bottom line, but it's very hard to get off a good move here, especially if Bennett is holding that inside line.
So we go into lap 7, of course. Green flag stops will be an issue. We know about Marco Brasil. Is not certainly, if you don't know, is a driver that he doesn't, he doesn't hold off on doing spectacular moves. He's very aggressive, so keep an eye out for him. Also, Shane Burke is now poking his nose inside the top 5, getting very close as Burton once again on the outside. Try to make the move on his compatriot Henry Bennett.
He's got the nose of head. The tires are in, and also Burke almost went into the wall. We're riding on side with Burton right now as he takes the lead, heading into turns 1 and 2.
Fantastic stuff. Bennett now on the inside with a comeback move. He gets the move done. Here comes Marco Brasil.
Marco Brasil stalking these two like a hawk, but up onto the inside. Bennett had the run into the corner, and now Henry Bennett switching with Burton. And with these two cars on this new track surface, Burton is definitely trying to get that top line rubbered in and just try to wear out the tires of Bennett currently. But everyone is still all in one pack as we see the run from AJ Burton, get the little side draft off there, going off really high. That's a lot of understeer, and I wouldn't be surprised if Brazil tries to make a move right here.
We got the new cameras, especially designed finally after all these weeks. By the way, yeah, quick shout out to Dave Walsh because he's up 5 places already, the winner of the last round, and certainly looking to score some good points on the ovals.
Yeah, it's very nice to be back here in Vegas because I always remember the racing here has just been awesome. As we look back at Burke and Gerhardt.
Man, let's go with the speedometer, man. I cannot look at that.
Chris miles per hour. Up ahead, we see Brazil going a little bit loose. Tires in that dirty air, getting a little bit less grip, almost went into the wall. And it looks like we already had a bit of a spin. That's Hugo Olsen who's fallen out the field. And we actually have 2 packs formed right now.
Yes, as Bennett goes for another move, these two have been trading overtakes. As I'm looking at the event viewer and seems like so far nothing has been recorded. But we'll keep an eye on Olsen and the progress he's making. In the chat they're asking how much better does the eye line get once it is rubbered in?
In pack racing, I would say it's night and day. You can see those top 3 guys going way high. When you're in dirty air, it's going to be night and day to get up there. But when you're side by side with someone, it's not noticeable. But around lap 30 is when the highlight is going to start being preferred, or the middle line as it's preferred. Here, as we see Milarquist have a little bit of a loose coming back up, and there's AJ Burton coming around him, around the outside. And look at him preferring that high line and the middle line as we start seeing David Milarwitz struggling with that bottom line, keeping his car down there.
Up 4 places since the start of the race. Once again, the man with all the informations. Barton really liking that outside line. He told me that he was going to try and go there for most of the race. And of course, he is being spotted by Apex Racing Team own Michele Costantini, who promised us he is going to race next week. I hope he maintains on his promise because he's certainly a very, very exciting driver and a former champion of this series.
Yeah, definitely someone to look out for as Burt is swinging around the outside. of David Morowitz back into second place. And actually, this is great news if you're Bennett, because Bennett starting to form a little bit of a gap behind him.
It does, but I wonder how much can you run away on a track like this. As you can see, basically the top 8 drivers have their own nice battle, as Hugo Olsson is in the pits. Let's see. The car was damaged, I think.
He hit the wall.
Hit the wall, yeah, he hit the wall pretty hard. Sadly, we cannot get a replay of that. As the battle continues. Ooh, blocked there by Melnarovic, who's trying to defend on Walsh and Gerhardt at the same time. And behind them, Crane and Burke are going at it.
It's great seeing pack racing in IndyCars. Field starting to spread out just a little bit more. Always in Walsh back in that Fortnite skin car as always. Most wins on the broadcast as well.
Yeah, 2 out of 2. He didn't participate in the second we did, but he won the first in Phoenix and the one last week in Road Atlanta. He didn't participate in Sonoma, where Mark Asher won in a spectacular comeback in that race there. So after back-to-back road courses, we are back on the traditional rotation of oval road course.
Yeah, if you're wondering on how to get into the next race will be across the pond in London Town at Brands Hatch. So that's going to be certainly a very interesting road course race to watch. This is a official series. Anybody can join and get their spot on the broadcast. We did get a split today. The top 27 do get into the top split unless it's one person like it was today. And actually, go back to that shot. I believe someone is going very slow as, ooh, that was very close between Burke and Crane.
Also the front between Gerhardt and Melnarovic, but these two guys here are very close, Burke and Crane. I like this camera shot. I don't know about you.
It's a great shot.
I like seeing the helmet, you know, and in the default cameras you don't see the helmet, even this on the roll camera. I love seeing the helmet. It's such a cool feature and distinctive of each driver. Once again, trying to do our best.
Oh, we got a spinner! Caution is out. That is David Milarowicz in the wall. He ran onto the apron. No, it looks like he got spun.
And we have a caution.
First caution of the night here in Vegas. And that is... well, that's just a murder.
Let's see. So, who was that? It was Adam Crane. So now we can get maybe an onboard. Not this, but this.
This is just a tap in the back. Went wide, got defended out there, goes down to the inside, was defended, didn't lift off, and just absolutely just drives through him.
I think also a bit of lag involved in that, and I'm quite confident that for Dave Melnarovic this will be the end of the road.
Well, the car is still driving around, but the engine cover is completely off. The front wing's missing, the back wing's missing, so I expect it's going to be a lengthy repair and a hefty repair bill. But the field is heading into the pits. Who's going to have the best crew and the best stop and probably the best strategy to get out of the pits first?
Petition to iRacing to show us the pit crews of the cars we are watching, because it's a shame that you only see your crew when you are driving, and it would add much more to the broadcast. As Dave Walsh
around the outside, but look at that! This battle for the lead. Burton wins it off.
So AJ Burton of the I5G Group, the association of big teams that ran in the Indy 500 this year and qualified several cars in the top split, is in the lead right now in front of Bennett. Dave Walsh, Adam Crane rounds up your top 5. Melnarovic is coming out of the pits.
Well, he got it fast.
I don't think we have fast repairs in this series.
I don't believe we do, because I was in a crash last race and I didn't get a fast repair.
The car seemed in very bad conditions when he crashed, so...
Magic?
Magic? We will see. Let's have a view from when David entered the pits, if we can find it, and see what kind of repairs have been done to his car. So...
Well, he's right next to Marshall Stanley.
Well,
and...
you know the engine cover will be replaced. I know that for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know about his suspension because he hit very hard, you know. So I don't think his car is going to be. I'm surprised. I mean, yeah, he has got an issue there. That can be repaired, the backlight and the rear wing, but you know, the geometry must be not in a good shape.
He'll just going to be trying to keep that car going in one spot and pointing in one direction. So we return back up at the front of the field behind our staying pace car here today. AJ Burton leads 27 laps in. And it's so great to have pace cars back in yellow flags because it just gives us a time to refresh. Pack up the field once more and about to go back racing.
Absolutely. Let's jump on board a bit with some of the drivers, as I think we are approaching the 1 to go signal from the start-finish line. AJ Burton then.
Yeah, following right behind the pace car. Very nice as always. Henry Bennett got beaten out of the pits, which was surprising. I wasn't expecting that to happen. Marco Brazil in third. Right behind him is two-time race winner and 100% P1 finisher in all of the broadcasted races that he's entered in the IndyCar series, Oisin Walsh. Followed up by Adam Crane, the man who unfortunately started that incident and brought out this caution.
Yeah, car seems to be okay. Driver from
Maybe
Canada.
just small bit of damage.
Let's keep an eye on Melnarovic because maybe, you know, sometimes when you are under caution, car seems okay, then you go to push the gas pedal and the first corner you take at decent speed. As Shane Burke has the time to also type in the chat under caution, so we say hello to him and all the SimTech Motorsports drivers, fans, and all the rest, because it's nice to have them as a very, very constant, you know, presence in these broadcasted races. As I think we are ready to go back racing.
Yeah, Burton on that top line. Nope, we are staying. Nope, there it goes. It was a late commitment by the pace car, but we are ready to go green. And here goes Burton putting the power to the floor. And it is a bad start from Bennett as Brazil looks to get out of the jump on Bennett at least.
We're looking on the inside.
Brazil's been favoring that inside line side by side with Bennett. Bennett forced up top, and Brazil's going to make that move hit. And here comes Oisin Walsh up onto the inside of Bennett as well. And he's got the run from Brazil. And yeah, it's going to make that happen. Bennett is just a, well, up without a paddle, I must say.
Yeah. He's really not enjoying the best of starts. Is Henry Bennett now under pressure from Shane Burke. His car seems to be fine, so I have no idea, as in the backfield, Melnarovic is unbelievably making some overtakes. I have no idea how he's holding on to that car, and now that car is still in one piece, as Brazil on the outside of Burton, and Dave Walsh has officially joined the party. This can be a race where at least 5 or 6 drivers can win it, so it's really unpredictable. That's why we love it.
Definitely very unpredictable. That's the Vegas odds playing it into effect here in the NTT Indycar Series. Sadly, sports betting is not legal in my state, so can't do it here. So we see Walsh on the back of Brazil. He's got 2 lines right behind him, but remember, he's got dirty air. But these 3 are so fast, and they're just pressuring Burton any way that they can. Brazil looking for that top line, forcing Burton down low. Very indecisive of which line he wants to take into a corner. He doesn't have a car up onto his inside, but if he does get a run, he's going to be forced up there. And expect Walsh to try to slide in behind Brazil, but Brazil going high, then slinging back down low, then going back up high. Each corner, trying to get that run back that he's had on Burton.
Pack of 6 running away right now. Henry Bennett trying to get to back. Brazil with an aggressive move to the outside, trying to get the best run possible. And Adam Crane is coming in together with Shane Burke. And like I said, Henry Bennett, as we have the 6-car pack at the front. Sherwin van der Sloot trying to bring back Laura Gerhardt, of course, himself, Paul Morgan, and all the rest, as Melarovic is going for a move on Campbell.
That car must have just had only... Oh, that was a tap by Campbell, and that might have damaged the car, but that was very close by Campbell and David Mlarowitz. And Mlarowitz, that must have just been visible damage. There is no way that car does not have suspension damage.
As they still keep battling side by side. We switch once again to the race for the lead, as Walsh and Brazil coming almost to some fisticuffs, fighting for position as they come out of turn 4 and into the front stretch. But the situation remains the same, with Burton leading the way. Brazil and Walsh in front of Crane and Burke, as now I think van der Sloot and Morgan and Gerhardt have all joined the party once again.
Burton going high, actually, giving Brazil the draft, not letting Walsh get up behind him now. And Burton, I believe, is going to be the benchmark on which line is going to be the best line to take on these new tires, as they all get a great run on Burton right now. Burton staying down low. Is this the time for Brazil to make it around the outside? No, it doesn't, but Brazil looking up the inside. He's got a run going into turn 1. Yes, he does get P1, and we have a new leader. It's Marco Alorio, Brazil.
Absolute legend at the top of the game for many years here in iRacing in IndyCar, and still going strong. Marco Aurelio Brazil is the new leader as we hit the 40 laps mark out of 133, so still a long way to go in this one.
Definitely a long way to go, but they're racing like it's the last lap. Burton on that middle line. Walsh just sitting back there right behind him, almost going into the wall just a little bit, but everyone just regaining themselves, trying to get back, trying to monitor the situation as Brazil and Burton go up high, and here comes Walsh sneaking it down the inside and picking up that draft for Brazil. Is Brazil going to defend up high once more? Because Walsh could try to steal second right here.
He most certainly can, and once again, let's remember that Marco Brazil is certainly a very tough driver to overtake. He will not make it easy for you. The spectacular Brazilian, always with an eye kid for hard, aggressive racing. He won't give up the position easily, and you see now he wants to keep this lead. He doesn't want to give Burton and Walsh the opportunity to go past him. As I think Trading Paints has been revived, finally!
Hey!
And we can see some beautiful liveries, including the Marco Brazil livery, which is beautiful now. Shade of blue and yellow, the colors, of course, of the national flag of Brazil. And hopefully all the other liveries will load in soon.
Yep, definitely. There are some liveries that I definitely like. Oyson Walsh has that Fortnite livery that he's well known for. The Simtech livery is just always beautiful to look at.
Yeah, those were already in for the past broadcast, so the new drivers, and of course there was the AJ Burton livery because we. I shouldn't say this, but we are close friends, even though I'm totally impartial. Also, he beat me at FIFA before the broadcast, so I hope he crashes. Back to the racing.
I was watching that game. You lost off of a free kick.
Yeah. Melnarovic has passed Campbell and Freckleton. Now Campbell is coming back at him and actually went past him, so maybe the damage. Of course, in the short run you might be okay, but then if you have got some aero damage, and I mean, if he only got aero damage from that hit, he's a lucky boy regardless. But then you might, you know, with some aero damage. No!
Oh, no,
Pigna!
no, 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 no!
Pigna, impressionante!
Oh, Staley slapped him going out of that corner. Milarwitz and Marshall Stanley. We do stay green. Surprisingly, there's a car stopped on track and it was just told out of the way, but we are staying green here. It looks like the race stewards have gone a little bit crazy right now. But let's take a replay of that. As Milarwitz around the what's this, a carbon copy of what just happened to him the first time?
Yeah. Who was the guy? It was Marshall Stanley that passed through the mess. Hopefully without damage. Let's get a replay.
Nah, he definitely has damage. He hit that car while it was in mid-air. Marshall Stanley, driver from Wolfpack Esports, went high, tried to stay down low, and was collected by that, but I don't see any damage on this car.
I think he's okay. So, back live.
Back to the race.
Yeah, hopefully with the new damage model, when it comes to the IR18, we'll see a caution for this because the track will be littered with all sorts of nasty stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna have front wings, gonna have wheels, gonna have hoods, gonna have rear wings, craziness.
Tires,
Also, speaking of craziness,
gonna have water bottles thrown in by the drivers to get the caution. As Brazil,
precautions.
All of a sudden is checked out.
Yeah, he's pulled out a second lead.
Look at that, 0.2 of a second faster than the rest of the top runners. So, looking like he could really run away. We know he's fantastic with qualifying pace, but also in race pace. When you give him an inch, he's going to take everything from you. So, keep an eye on the Brazilian driver, as maybe with these lap times, I don't know if there is going to be some fuel saving in action from the rest of the pack, as Freckleton comes in because he's missing a front wing.
Yeah, he's turning right to go left, and on a left turning oval. That's not pretty much that good, but getting his camera time right now, heading into the pits. And if a caution comes out right now, Freckleton's gonna be very happy man.
Let's see once again the crash from his perspective. You know, we might say lag, but at these speeds, the way the net code works, it's inevitable that is going to be a crash. It's sadly inevitable.
Yeah, definitely inevitable. Speaking of inevitable, Brazil pulling away from Burton and Walsh. This is just an impressive performance from Brazil.
Let's see the comparison in the last few laps between Brazil and Burton. Should be on your screen right now.
Talk about consistency. 1.7, 1.9, 1.3, 1.4, 1.8. Wow.
And of course, Burton also has his mirrors full of Dave Walsh, and I know the two drivers know each other. They are not on the radio together because they're not teammates, but they have deep respect for each other. We'll see if they manage to work out a plan or if they will keep battling.
Definitely, and it looks like Ferguson's coming back out on track. So running on board with Dave Walsh. See, drivers, we didn't really notice it right now, but everyone's facing that higher line now. Everyone's pretty much avoiding that inside line. Everyone's been, the last pit lap that we went into pits was lap 25. So 25 laps have gone on by, and we are still green.
So if we can see some flames from this shot. As you can see the way the suspension are working, the left rear, and of course a bit of dirtiness on the car as well, and the run that Walsh is getting, but Walsh doesn't seem either to have that extra bit of speed needed, or he's waiting and just saving fuel, trying to maybe have an alternate pista, because Brazil is running away with it, almost 2 seconds over AJ Burton.
Yeah, Brazil is definitely, he's got the car set up to just bite mid-race and taking green flag runs into his own.
Of course, how can we forget the first ever IRL race held at this racetrack way back when? Famous for two, I remember two things from that race. First was that the backstretch was, the inside of the backstretch was covered in dirt, as we are side by side for second place.
Oh, Walsh around the outside. He's got a good run. Burton going down to the inside, trying to get that clean air, but Walsh clears him by a mile.
Yeah, and Burton... So, yeah, the backstretch didn't have the tarmac runoff on the inside. You had basically just like a gravel trap. And every time someone crashed, and trust me, it was IRL first year, so there were a lot of crashes. And there were so many crashes that actually ABC couldn't show the end of the race. They had to cut away from to show, I think, the news or some extra programming. So then there is no recording of the end of that race to date.
That's unfortunate. It would have been a great race. Speaking of great race, we got a great race for fourth.
Yeah, and Burton is dropping back. Did he hit the walls? Because trying to see if...
Doesn't look like it.
But he's dropping back and back and back, and he's very, very slow now, and about to be passed by Adam Crane on the inside. I want to see his right side of the car. As a note for the future, Marco, to make a camera that goes there. Oh, he clipped the wall again.
Oh, it is in the wall.
Oh, que piña! And we have a caution.
Second caution of the night. Burton getting into a
big, we have a car in the catch fence.
I believe that was
Bennett, unbelievable. Two of the main protagonists of this race. And that was a massive wreck.
Henry Bennett, pole sitter, and top IR gets collected. Big hit, and he goes flying into the catch fence here at Vegas. As that is something you definitely do not want to see, especially in real life, as... Yep, that car is just sitting up there at that catch fence.
Let's see AJ Burton's car, if we can maybe slow down a camera from the side and see what happened to his car, if he already had damage, but this is too late, of course. If we can see from another camera, his car seems to be fine, you know?
May have had a little bit of a tap.
But that was a massive hit, and you can see from the camera angle that Bennett got some major airtime. Look at that.
Yeah, major airtime and then a lot of pirouettes. That is definitely going to be infuriating for them. Those two guys were definitely looking forward, but you can see both of them out of the car and have left the session. As the race off of pits lane is going to be Brazil, Walsh, and Crane, your top three. Marshall Stanley moving up a lot of spots now.
Yeah.
Jumped up into 8th. That was a great pit stop for the Wolfpack guys. The fastest pit stop time out of everybody. 8.05 seconds in the box.
And you know,
So
consistency is so important, you know, so as the new team of Marco Brazil after Oval Engineering, now 10th Factory Sim Racers, and you can see the name on the rear wing. So important, the consistency, you know. Bennett and Burton were very fast, super fast, and look where they are right now. They are guaranteed to finish behind Marshall Stanley and all the other drivers that were running at the back. Of course, a chance for Freckleton, who's, despite his damage to the right side, but is still going. He could really gain some. And now
Stanley's heading into the pits again. Oh, he must have sped in the pit lane.
No, because if you speed in the pits, you get to the end of the line. So.
Oh, Stanley must have had damage. You can see that front wing. He might be going into the pits once more for fuel and tires, and now this might just only be for damage.
Let's see when he comes out. The front wing seems to be okay. Maybe an extra splash of fuel to be... Oh, no, he's waiting for something.
It is damage.
Yeah. Let's see the front wing. If it changes... No.
No change to the front wing, so it might have just been internal or suspension-wise. But Stanley, with that very fast pit stop, goes back down to 9th place.
We'll have to keep an eye on him as Dylan Freckleton will get the wave around, and he's 5
Look
laps
at that
down.
Steering.
Yeah, that steering is either a massive, offset on the setup, which I personally like, but judging by the damage on his right side of the car, I think that is some damage. So you will take the wave around. Yeah, just a little bit. You see his side pod is, missing. Not missing, it's a bit damaged, but he will get the wave around, and he will be one step closer to getting past Bennett and Burton. Once again, no chance that they are coming back on the racetrack, so the top 10 for him is guaranteed. And it's going to be a big hit to the I rating of Henry Bennett, because right now he's sitting in 10th and he's losing 97 points, and he's going to finish 11th, of course, because Freckleton will pass him as soon as we go green in a couple of laps. So big hit to his I rating, and he will still be the #1 car next week should he decide to participate, but that's exactly the risk that you have when you have such a high I rating, and you cannot really afford to have any kind of issue. As the lights are out on the iRacing Mustang pace car. I would love to have the new Mustang as the pace car, but it's not in iRacing as a car, so I highly doubt it. But the Porsche is not a car as well in iRacing, the pace car that we have, so who knows. Stop talking, Marco, and get back to the racing, because I think the good Marco Brazil, I always used to say to my friends when we were racing in this series, I am the other Marco of IndyCar racing, because of course the one and only, the famous, several times champion Marco Brazil is the real Marco, and he's about to bring us back to the green flag with 67 laps in the books.
67 laps are down, trying to put some more. Brazil leads him off, and he's already on the gas, and here we go racing. We're back green here in Vegas. Great start by Brazil. Good jump, but it caused a little bit of a ruckus back there. It looks like Søren Vandersloot and Paul Morgan might be having a little bit of a battle. Looking at the sim pit guys right now. The other sim... Not a sim pit.
A Simtech.
Simtech. Sorry, I'm getting people confused again. Looks like they had a great start, but look at Walsh right back on Brazil. He got the draft, and he's already getting the run around the outside. Can Brazil hold off Walsh, or can Walsh try to hold it on around the outside in these opening laps?
And look at Crane and Burke, of course, with the fresh tires. And now, of course, everyone on the same strategy thanks to the caution. will certainly try, and Walsh, of course, wants to get 3 out of 3 in his races in this series. Since we started the broadcast a couple of weeks back, he has already won on the oval in Phoenix, and he already won on in the road, so certainly a complete driver. Oh, here comes Burke on the inside. No one is giving an inch today, Austin. We are seeing some close battles, and no one is willing to lift. And of course, some drivers have paid the price already. But you know, that's the aggressive racing we like. As back onto the start-finish line. Now you might ask, can they go on the apron to make the passes? Yes.
Yes, they can, but running on the apron, that will not lead you very well. I can tell from experience, as Walsh looking for another outside line, trying to go around the outside of Marco Brazil, but Brazil, ooh, might have had just a little bit of a drift sliding right there, as they're technically 3 wide right now.
Oh man, fantastic stuff. Walsh is sensing the opportunity to get in front of Brazil. They don't want to let Brazil escape, and it's almost like the group is compressing with more cars coming in after being a little bit separated at the race start. And of course it's the outside line, you know, trying to get past the only car on the inside, at least on the front stretch, is Brazil. On the outside of the backstretch, Walsh has always a good run, but it's not enough to get the overtake. 0.06 of a second between the pair of them as they went on the start-finish line, as lap 76 starts right now. No, 75, sorry. Oh, we had lost a car.
Sleuths out.
He disappeared. Hopefully he reappears. We'll let you know if he reappears. Oh, almost rewind. Oh, he's back.
He's back.
Must not be
That's
fun.
definitely going to, that's going to definitely throw a spanner in the works for people following him. He might be starting a little bit of a blink train. But Brazil is getting a draft by Walsh. Walsh getting a ride, getting so close to the wall.
And that wall gets closer and closer. It almost seems like it's moving towards you. The more you go into the tire run, the more the tires get worn out, the more the aero push effect is felt. Walsh is not giving up, and of course this is open setup, so who knows what tricks up his sleeve these drivers might have, as Walsh seems to be faster and faster each time they go to the backstretch. But Burke, let's jump on board with him because he has the best seat in the house.
Yeah, Burke enjoying the show up ahead. The more battling, the more chances he can to close in on Walsh. And it looks like Walsh might have the run this time by. But I believe I just jinxed myself once more as he falls back behind as, oh my goodness, he gets so close to the wall. It looks like he's just riding on it on rails right now. But Burke preferring that higher line than Walsh and Brazil. Brazil staying on that inside line, just trying to force Walsh wide. And like I said, it's so hard to pass here. No push to pass on the oval. And it looks like Walsh has a run. And
he's gotta be careful, Walsh. Of course, he knows what he's doing, but he's really flirting with disaster there. As, of course, now Crane is back. He was never really out of the fight, let's be honest. But the more they fight, the more everyone closes in with each other. And each lap that passes, Walsh seems to have an inch more. I'm obsessed with inches tonight. I don't know why. I should say centimeter, but you know, I'm international. You know, when I do this series, I feel a bit American. You know, so it's inches.
You're American in my heart.
Oh, that's perfect. If I have your seal of approval, I'm happy.
Get the approval from the Texan, you're always American. And it looks like the lines are starting to break up a little bit of loose going into that corner. Walsh was late on his line, and now Brazil might start running away.
And now the dirt air will be more and more a problem for these drivers, especially when the tires start to go out. Walsh doesn't seem to be okay with that, as he's trying to stay as close as possible to his rival, pushing hard, trying to, of course, Dave Walsh, if I am not mistaken, the points leader entering this race tonight.
Really haven't discussed the points, the iRacing overall points, as I will do that right now, honestly.
As we keep on going, now on board with Adam Crane.
Oh, there was a little tap to the wall, it looked like on Crane.
That was
going
super close, yeah?
Yeah, it's actually not, or it's not, Walsh, it's John Downing.
Oh, John
leading the
Downing, yes, of
points.
course, you are right.
Henry Bennett in second, Will Lamb in third, and Laura Gerhardt in fourth.
Gerhardt, another driver that's there up there in the classifications through consistency. And that's, of course, one thing we always like, as someone is very slowly there. It's Dylan Freckleton. He's letting drivers go past him as this fight continues between between Frederick Campbell and Paul Morgan, 7th and 8th. And still at the front, of course, you can see Burke, Crane, and in front of them Brazil and Walsh, now slotting more into a single line formation as Campbell on the inside gets the jump on Morgan and up into P7.
Yeah, good fighting all around in the mid-pack. Good clean racing right now as we're closing into 50 laps to go.
And I don't want to jinx it, but I think green flag stops are approaching.
If there's a crash, you can blame Marco. Speaking of Marco, we were talking about his place in the points. Marco is in 15th currently.
Yeah, but of course he didn't race on the road courses. He's not strong. He's trying to make as many points as possible on the 6 ovals that we have. Sorry, on the 5 ovals that we have, and then try to pick 3 road courses he like to get the best points possible.
Behind him between Crane and Burke. These two going side by side, but Crane on that inside line got the jump on Burke. And this is where Brazil can try to start running away, because I believe with this same pit speed as Burke now goes onto the inside, Crane forcing that outside line, trying to hold it and pinch him down low. Crane is still ahead of Burke. But this is where we saw Brazil to start running away with it all. Sure, there was a battle right behind him, and Walsh his pace is slowing up to Brazil's.
Oh, here comes Gerhardt on the inside of Burke. Distinctive green Starbucks car.
So she also has a Visa ad on the front.
I think you are right. Yes. Let's see, maybe from this camera we see it better. No, we don't. Oh yes, we do on the front wheel. Yeah. So Crane is now pulling away from 4th, 5th and 6th. So we have the distinct packs as Gerhardt goes on the inside of Burke, and I think she will be able to complete the pass. She does, and up into 4th place, just as in the championship standings, goes Laura Gerhardt. So Adam Crane is in bit of the middle of nowhere right now, but now we will be helped by this fight between Gerhardt and Burke. Maybe Van der Sloot can go and give a helping hand to his teammate, as we are heading into lap 94. Starts right now. Gerhardt still fighting with Crane.
Gearhart and Craig. Gearhart on that inside line. Craig trying to go for the rear outside, but unable to do so. I'm sorry, that was Burke.
Look at how dirty the cars are getting. The rear end, all those black marks there on the car. Of course, the breeze, tire marbles and whatnot. And of course, despite these being fantastic drivers, you know, if you are going to have a green flag stop and it's only one, it's toward the end of the end of the race. It's never easy to find the space and the timing and to have a good pit entrance, and your race can be won or lost entering for green flag stops. Have some interesting discussions going on in the race chat. Let's focus on the racing here. And the fact that I think we are getting closer and closer to these green flag stops. Brazil Alpha second over Dave Walsh. Adam Crane is in third, Laura Gerhardt in fourth, and Shane Burke is in fifth. Let's see the comparison for Brazil and Walsh.
Well, it's actually Walsh gaining on him slightly. Not the biggest lead by pace when we saw with Burton at the time, but that is but that's just showing you on how close Walsh and Brazil are in pace. As I must give Walsh a big hand. 10 places up from where he started.
Yeah, unfortunately we missed qualifying, so we don't know what happened to him, but he's showing that the qualifying certainly was not realistic. As we see, the drivers are getting... Oh yeah, of course we have the track map to see this. The lead cars are getting closer and closer to Dylan Freckleton. Of course, with 10 cars running, lap traffic shouldn't be much of an issue.
And with 33 laps to go, it's going to be a strategy game. Who is going to pit when? If there is not going to be a caution, with everyone starting to spread out right now, it's looking that way that we will definitely have green flag pit stops.
Race leader. Of course, when he comes in... Oh, he comes in now!
Oh, he's going in now! And also, Freckleton's heading in as well, but that is a definite undercut attempt. It also looks like Frederick Campbell's heading into the pits as well as our race leader. So, green flag pit stops are definitely underway. And this is what IndyCar racing comes down to: strategy. Which tire is going to go on, which tire is going to come off, how much fuel you're going to put into the car as the field is staying out. But
no
the
penalties for Brazil.
Attempt,
no penalties for Brazil. Yeah. As if you get a penalty coming in, you get held for 15 seconds. He came in very quickly in 8.4 seconds. Now he has to wait until he comes on the backstretch and he is in the clear. Now, another lap for Dave Walsh then, if we can see the gaps here. You can see that Brazil is one lap down to the leaders right now. I say one lap and a half.
That's a big wiggle from Walsh. Came out of that turn 2 exit, his car just had a big offset wiggle. And that was very sketchy from Walsh. But Walsh now sitting on top of the field.
And you know, Brazil is banking on this going green and this trouble with the tires continuing for Walsh. Walsh now needs to decide if he wants to pit now and limit the damage, or try to stay out and hope for a caution. And the caution, of course, will send Brazil to the back of the line with the wave around without the chance to change tires. So a race deciding moment like this, you know, this could be the race deciding moment for sure. And of course, both drivers are hoping that everything goes well as Brazil. Oh, here comes Walsh.
Yeah, Brazil's making his way as. Oh, that's a big lockup from Walsh. That might have been spinning in the pit lane. That was a huge lockup as Walsh, Gerhardt, and Marshall Stanley heading into the pits.
Let's keep an eye on the clock. Let's see, 8 seconds more or less. It's a good baseline for a clean stop without penalties. All good for Dave Walsh.
8.05.
Here comes Brazil on the start-finish line. We should see Walsh on the inside somewhere.
Walsh is on the back straight right now. Oh no! Walsh is spun into the Velcro! Oh my goodness! That did not just happen.
Have you ever?
No way! Did that just happen?
I am speechless. I am absolutely speechless at what just happened.
Walsh
probably
coming out of the pit lane at pit exit, spun it, and Brazil was collected.
I mean, I think that Walsh was trying to maybe get the best
and
run possible.
I believe there's even more craziness happening right now as people have collected each other going behind the pit car, and I think there might have been a little bit of contact heading into the pit lane or just lining up with people, but our new leader in 1 and 2 is going to be Laura Gerhardt.
No, she's 1 lap down.
That's right.
They are all 1 lap down apart from Morgan, Crane, Van der Sloot, and Burke. What an incredible change and turn of events here.
Well, they just unlapped themselves this time, but I believe they might be giving the wave around right now.
Yeah, they will get the wave around with 1 to go, but they will have the worse tires compared to the guys who pitted before the
Well, the thing is, they went into the pits just what was that? 3 laps before them.
Let's see a replay.
Also, Brazil is still on track.
Great
replay.
More positions possible. So here we go. He comes out, and I think he saw that Brazil was coming, so he went as hard as possible, did Walsh, and he's very slippery, especially with cold tires. Oh, and that's all she wrote. And the unbelievable lack of collecting his rival tonight, Brazil. I mean, luck, bad luck, I don't know, the irony of all of that. It's absolutely crazy.
Oh. That is just...
We were running on board with Brazil, and I mean...
Oh.
This is a shocking moment. Shocking moment as Brazil is entering the pits, his car destroyed, trying to limit the damage. He will tell that he's got too much damage and he is done. So race is over for him. And what a chance for Adam Crane, Shane Burke and Van der Sloot, 2 teammates, Paul Morgan, another teammate of the Simtech boys, Laura Gerhardt, of course, Marshall Stanley and Frederick Campbell. They are back on the lead lap because we are ready to go racing. No, they will be back on the lead lap very quickly at the wave around, which will start now. So who's going to get it? Laura Gerhardt, Marshall Stanley, Frederick Campbell, and Dylan Freckleton. These 4 drivers will get the wave around. So effectively we will have 7 cars on the lead lap fighting for the win, but of course Gerhard, Stanley and Campbell will have slightly older tires. They pitted on lap 101, 106 and 106 respectively.
Yeah, all of them went into the pits at 106. The one that went in on 101 was Frederick Campbell, and we saw that he was already involved in a massive crash at the earlier on. Also with them is Dylan Freckleton. And here comes the wave around for all of them.
Okay, as you can, hopefully the timing screen on the left will now make sense. As you can see, the drivers taking the wave around were already on the lead lap, but around 1 minute behind the leader. Now they will all compress and go back to green flag racing, and the track map will also be a bit of help. A little bit lonely on the track with the, 8, because Freckleton is also running around.
Yes, right.
And Freckleton will get 8th place in the end, if not better. So the resiliency of driving around with this car that is, a little bit destroyed, but he's staying out of people's way and is doing the best thing you can do in this situation. That is keep running and keep getting the positions as other people in front of you crash. And I think we are go back racing.
Well, it's not going to be 3 out of 3 win appearances for Walsh after what we saw, and it's all in Adam Crane's turn as the pace car pulls off, and we're about to go back racing here in Vegas for the NTT Indycar Open Series, and here goes Crane.
Now it's anyone's race, Austin, of course. All of these guys can win. And for all of them, a chance at a, I would say, unexpected race win. Let's see how it works.
It's definitely unexpected, as well as there's a little bit of a gap forming behind, as we see Marshall Stanley going down the inside of Freckleton, and Marshall Stanley picks up a P6 right there, but up at front, we saw on how close the racing was on these new tires for the first 30 laps, and this is going to be a straight-out shootout until the finish, as Shane Burke around the outside, forcing Adam Creighton down low. The 2 Simtech cars, all 3 Simtech cars in the top pack, as they're just hounding Burke down onto the inside. They're hounding Crane down into the inside, as the Simtech cars looking like a pack of wolves now, trying to get their drivers up into the lead.
Look at that. Oh, careful, guys.
This isn't NASCAR at Talladega. You can't go 4 wide through the corners here, but you can certainly try it on the back straight. Speaking of, I don't want to leave this fight.
No, I mean, it's too. I mean, we have seen some crazy stuff tonight, so I'm not. Anything can happen now, and we've seen some crazy stuff, but I think the limit is in the sky right now, because...
Speaking of limit, Laura Gerhardt has rejoined the fight for the lead. It's now a 5-way battle for first. Crane, Vandersloot, Burt, Morgan, and Laura Gerhardt all battling out in the final laps here at Vegas.
3 wide. And look at Gerhardt on the inside. Even with older tires, she is gunning for the race win. She has been so consistent, but now, despite the slightly older tires, 3 laps more than the other guys, she really looks like she will have a say in who is the race winner tonight, as we are getting into the, the pointy end of this race. Once again, Crane is holding on that white line, trying to stay in front of these guys. It will work for now, but of course, the more you hack the inside line, Austin, the more your tires get worn out, even though there are not many laps left. It will take a toll on him the more we go into the final laps of this race.
Yeah, just a few more laps remain here in Vegas. Gerhardt getting the draft, favoring that middle line, now going back to the inside line. She looked like she was going to try to find Sherwin Vandersloot, but Crane still holding that inside line. His tires must be aching to try to free up today, as Gerhardt Once again, looked around that outside line. Gerhard is in the worst case right here because she has dirty air all around her right now. And she's got a great run. She could have shot off into up high and made it 3 wide going to that corner, but thought about it, said, I'm okay with third, going to stay right back. So we enter lap 121 out of 133 here in Vegas.
And we always, it's easy to make the puns. We made them earlier about the roll of the dice, but yeah, I mean, it's been a casino-style race, this one. Craziness, surprises, and still we don't know how it's going to end.
Yeah, looks like Vandersloot's got a run around the outside. He can definitely try to hold Crane down onto the bottom, but Crane with that inside line, it is faster currently, but in these last few laps, it's looking like the outside line is the one to be on, as Vandersloot around the outside, once again trying to hold it off, going to slide back behind of Adam Crane, but now getting the draft, getting the speed, getting the run. Can he make it around the outside as Gerhard and Shane Burgess? Oh, Vandersloot's done the disconnect once more.
Where and when will he pop back into existence? As this,
Can
of
this
course,
race get any crazier?
He's back.
There he is.
Oh, with a plume of smoke like a DeLorean coming back.
Oh, and Gerhard's around on the tri-oval.
Caution is out.
We are back under caution with 10 laps to go here in Vegas. Ladies and gentlemen, place your bets.
I think she can still play a part because she only
No
spun.
damage.
No damage?
There was no damage. It was just getting onto the tri-oval, running below that white paint line. And a quote from one of the drivers in the secondary split is, I believe he's sold a shirt, the line is not your friend. You don't want to run on the line. You can run it on a NASCAR, but you can't run it in an IndyCar. So question, pit stop?
Yes. Give me 4 fresh tires as, the crew chief, Larry McReynolds would say, give me 4 fresh tires. I don't care. And now, of course, I would imagine that there will be some deep talking between the SimTech teammates, thinking about a strategy, because this could be the
I wouldn't
great
be
chance.
surprised if one of them stays out.
2 of them stay out.
2 of them stayed out.
Okay.
Gerhard staying out. Stanley's going in. Everyone except for Vandersloot, Burke, and Gerhard has gone into the pits.
So the madness isn't over. This race had everything. That's why we really pushed hard to have this series broadcast back on Apex Racing TV. And I think that you guys are enjoying it. We are enjoying it. The drivers, the ones that are still in the race are enjoying it a lot. The others, a bit less.
Yeah, there's a little bit of angerness right now between Walsh and Brazil, but other than that,
I mean,
I'm not going to go into specifics here, but this has put a massive smile on my face. 3 cars, Vandersloot, Burke, and Gerhard, all of them not gone into the pits. The loaded guns behind them, Crane, Morgan, Stanley, and Campbell, all locked and loaded and ready to fire on 4 fresh tires. Who is it going to be? Is it going to be Wolfpack Esports with Marshall Stanley, Paul Morgan for the SimTech crew, Adam Crane? I don't know who he races for.
He's flying
representing the Maple Leaf. He's going to be trying to drive the Maple Leafs off the car and get back up to first. Quote, probably the best spotter in all of IndyCar.
Aren't we getting closer to Canadian Thanksgiving?
Yes, we are.
Let's see. It will be... Oh, it was the 14th of October, so...
Oh, it was this week.
Yeah. So we have 3 cars on all tires, 4 cars on new tires. Man, I thought I've seen it all, but this race is the gift that keeps on giving, and I think that crash between Walsh and Brazil will live in the memories, at least in my memory, for many, many years, because in all the years commentating, I have never seen anything like that. The 2 rivals for the race win crashing in that way. I mean, you know, you spin out of the pits, it happens, but the chances that out of all the cars coming,
it would be your rival.
Your rival, who was...
For the lead.
For the lead, and, you know, he was on course to pass him. He had a better run. Walsh still was trying to get... and out of all of that, we were on board with Brazil when that happened. I mean...
oh, my goodness.
1 in a million.
It scared me. It scared me seeing that car just fly up the racetrack and into him. And, oh... we are prepped and ready for a great shootout at the end with 5 laps to go here in Vegas as the lights go out on the Mustang pace car. Sherwin Vandersloot and the Simtech Motorsports team lead in first and second on old tires. Laura Gearhart in third. And following her is the loaded guns, the guys who went into the pits, Crane, Morgan, Stanley, and Campbell. Who's gonna be ahead?
As Freckleton has decided, you know, I'm sure to be 8th, I park the car, so he will not be around. Only the cars on the lead lap are still on the track. The surviving 7, I should call them.
Yeah, the battle for first has never been more true than right now, because all 7 of these cars on track and in that battle are in that box, as we are about to go green for, I believe, one last time here in Vegas. They're all going up to that top line, trying to protect his position. Vandersloot, when are you gonna go? The pace car pulls off, and the pedal, ooh, a little bit of a stutter, and there we go! Vandersloot puts the pedal to the metal. We're back racing, and Gearhart is already under pressure by Adam Crane.
So now we'll see, of course, the 2 leaders use the start to distantiate themselves, but now the group will compress once the cars in the back will have the slipstream, even though they're not close. Laura Gearhart with a bad run. And
Marshall
so,
Stanley now around the outside. I want to watch Marshall Stanley. Marshall Stanley goes around Gearhart and now chasing by. He's following down Paul Morgan and Adam Crane as these 2 are charging up to the leaders as they're going too wide here in Vegas, and now their pace is slowing down. And we're 4 wide here in Vegas. Vandersloot down the inside. Shane Burke around the outside. Still racing in this close pack. Marshall Stanley is now joined the fight as this close 5-way pack are racing it down here in Vegas. Look at Crane. He's almost pushing the cars out of his way. He's sent the car up into the wall, and that's
stay green,
Burke.
stay green, stay green, stay green.
And
stay
we
green.
are still, please stay green. And we are still green. As Vandersloot defending with all his life of Crane down onto the inside. Marshall Stanley getting a great run and a great show between these 2. As these 2 guys racing as we are. Say it, Marco. Oh, wait, no, not the last lap. One more. 2 laps to go.
This race deserves a green flag ending, but this is fantastic. The next caution ends the race. Here we go. Massive run in turn 3 and 4. Here comes Crane on the fresher tires. And the white flag is in the air. Sorella Blanca!
Sorella Blanca, look who is back. Frederick Campbell around the outside, making it 3 wide. And it's 5 cars battling for the lead. Vandersloot holding on with his life out onto the inside. Crane down low. Sloot down low. Crane into the middle. Sloot down down low. Campbell around the outside. These 3 battling it all. Here comes Crane. Crane goes into the wall. And it's going to be Vandersloot wins with the gamble. Vandersloot! What
Oh, we have
a
a car on its
victory!
lead.
And
Oh,
Crane, get it, reverse.
Reverse
Just
it, reverse it.
across the line. Come on, you got it, Crane. You got it. No. Oh, he wants to go around.
Here comes Burke. It's going to be a photo finish. He's stuck in the fence. Oh, to add insult to injury. Burke. Let's watch that final lap once again.
Oh my goodness. Stanley was all up in there. And then it just went utterly insane. Wow.
What a race. It has been a fantastic season so far, but this takes the cake as the best race we've had this year. Look at the defending from Vandersloot below the white line. And on the outside, Crane there tried, little bit of contact. And then he went on its roof. And Vandersloot was able to get the race win. Fantastic. Did you ever hear me that excited for a broadcast? I'm usually very calm.
Usually I'm the one yelling at the top of my lungs, but it's Sherwin Vandersloot putting all the money on red here in Vegas with staying out for the pit stop, and he takes the win here today. Sherwin Vandersloot takes the win for Simtech, and I believe that is their first win in our NTT Indycar Open broadcast. He's followed up by Frederick Campbell, Paul Morgan, Marshall Stanley getting a great fourth place for Wolfpack Esports, even though he started, I believe, in 13th. But same with Crane. But wow, what a race. And following up, Laura Gerhardt in 5th. Shane Burke and Adam Crane unfortunately had those incidents trying to chase down the gold here today. And it's followed up by Dylan Fregelson, Marco Brazil, and Oizen Walsh, which turn the race on its head with their incident coming out of the pit lane. Just absolutely insane. AJ Burton, Henry Bennett, who also had an incident with each other on the back straight, which caused our second caution. Damon Morawitz and Hugo Olsen in 14th place. And wow.
Man, I need to catch my breath after that. And before we wait, if people are coming in for an interview, the link is in the chat. Let's have a quick talk about next week, because we will be racing in Brands Hatch. Sadly, not the Indy layout, which has been used in real life for Champ Car in 2003, but the Grand Prix, still very good. What are your thoughts about a very, track that really isn't too dissimilar to the ones we faced so far in the Sonoma and Road Atlanta part of the schedule? So, lot of undulation, very fast corners. Is going to be a blast.
The downforce and the road course car is just going to be absolutely fun there in Brands Hatch next week. And, well, are we going to see dominance on the road course once more? Or will a new face arise in Brands Hatch? As wow,
they are too excited celebrating. I think in the Simtech garage, no one is coming for interview. So waiting just a little bit more. Austin, your consideration from this event? I think the perfect manifesto for why we want to broadcast this series and why more people should come and race with us on Friday nights.
It doesn't get anywhere better than that.
Yeah, this is just. I mean, you said it. You worded it perfectly. Simple and effective and straight to the point.
Oh my goodness. And I believe we have Henry Bennett joining us.
Oh yeah.
Howdy, Henry. How are you?
I've been better.
Yeah, you were involved in you were involved in that unfortunate incident later on midway through the race. Talk us what happened.
Yeah, after that first pit stop, we saw that we could save fuel and make it to the end with one more stop. So that's why I dropped back after the restart. And yeah, we were just about halfway through that stint. We were saving fuel really well, so we were easily going to make it on one more stop, where everyone at the front would have had to have stopped twice or saved massively, like after after the next pit stop. Yeah, just I saw AJ was struggling a bit at that point. He was dropping back at a few places. And me and I forget the guy who was ahead of me, maybe Adam. Yeah, we got a good run on AJ. And yet on the back straight, I was just about to tuck in behind him, but he seemed to get a bit of a slide on, so he dropped a bit of pace. So that meant I had to try and get out of his way really quickly, like duck out from behind him, and I think my front wing clipped his rear wheel with a tiny bit of net code, so it slid him into the wall, and then back out of the wall into me. So it's a really unfortunate bit of net code. Ended our race I think we were both on for a good finish, but that's really unfortunate. And yeah, really bad week for me because I finished Monday's race last as well after an early incident.
That's
And
unfortunate to
yeah,
hear about Monday's race and just constant bad luck. Did you stay to watch the finish?
Yeah, I stayed. I'm Laura's teammate, so I was trying to help her out and get her a good finish. But yeah, there was quite an exciting finish by the looks of it. Yeah, really unfortunate what happened to Laura. I think she had the best car um, towards the before that final caution that she caused, but yeah, just clipped the white line and brought out that caution. And after that, her wheel had a problem. It was like 45 degrees at the wrong angle, so she was steering quite. It was quite difficult for her to steer on the restart, so that's why she dropped back.
uh, Andre, next week we will be at in your home country in United Kingdom at Brands Hatch. Will you be racing? And if yes, how do you feel about that particular racetrack?
I hope to be racing. I love the track. Love the car on this car on that track. Yeah, been there in person. Yeah, spectacular in real life. So yeah, really looking forward to that. I think the last time we ran it in the IndyCar was about 3 years ago. So yeah, I'm really excited to race there again. Hopefully, I can make the Friday race.
Awesome. I will leave you to Austin if he has any other questions.
Actually, I'm all out of questions. He pretty much answered all of them.
Perfect. And so, Henry, before we let you go, anyone you'd like to thank?
Everyone at Powerslide, they always make brilliant sets. Yeah, really, really helpful during races and everything. And yeah, you guys for broadcasting. So you really made the Friday strength of field race something again, which is really good for us Europe.
Awesome. Thank you very much, and we will catch you next week.
Cheers, guys.
And that was Henry Bennett talking with us, of course, a bit dejected after that massive wreck with AJ Burton at the very beginning, in the midway through the race. Austin, it's time for me to go to bed, for you to enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Are the Astros playing tonight?
Oh yes, they are. They're playing the Yankees, and if they win, we're going to hashtag take it back to the World Series, baby. But enough about baseball and me being a massive Astros fan. So let's end this broadcast once and for all. What a race we witnessed here today in Vegas. I hope you guys enjoy that so much. Thank you, Marco, for your wonderful camera work and broadcasting skills. Thank you, everybody who showed up. Thank you, everyone who's watching the stream. And thank you, everyone who's participated in this race and gave us that insane show. I'm Austin Knight, and I hope y'all have a great night.